We all know about the massive national debt in the United States, right? It's plastered across headlines, debated in every news cycle. But what if I told you the world's second largest economy, often seen as a financial powerhouse, might be hiding a debt problem that makes America's look like pocket change? Stick with us, because we're about to pull back the curtain on China's incredibly complex and, surprisingly secretive debt situation. First, let's quickly set the stage with the U.S. America's national debt is a very large, very visible mountain. It's massive, and everyone knows it's there. Figures are reported openly, debated fiercely, and it mostly rests on the federal government's shoulders. The debt-to-GDP ratio for the federal government hovers around 123%. Add state and local debt, and we're looking at around 132%. It's a major concern, sure. But the US dollar's status as the world's reserve currency gives Washington a unique financial advantage. Still, economic gravity doesn't stop for anyone. But what about China? At first glance, China seems to be the disciplined, financially responsible powerhouse. They hold hundreds of billions in U.S. Treasury bonds, lending to America's debt. The narrative is clear. The U.S. is the borrower, and China is the lender. But this story is incomplete and dangerously misleading. When you dig beneath the surface, you'll see that China's debt isn't just heavy. It's much more complex and far larger than it appears. Here's where it gets interesting. Unlike the U.S., where debt is largely consolidated at the federal level, China's debt is scattered, layered like an intricate maze. Let's peel back the layers. The first and most obvious hidden layer is local government debt. Local governments borrow heavily for infrastructure projects, massive airports, new cities, high-speed rail. This off-the-books borrowing pushes China's total government debt over 150% of GDP, surpassing the U.S. And unlike the U.S., these debts are largely unaccountable. Then there's the second layer: state-owned enterprises, or SOEs. These companies borrow trillions of dollars, often for mega projects not just within China, but across the globe. From new ports in Africa to cities in the Middle East, they're driving China's overseas influence. But when these companies face trouble, who steps in to save them? The state. This adds to what's called total social financing, a metric that pushes China's debt over 300% of GDP. Finally, there's the issue of China's GDP. Some analysts argue it's overstated, meaning China's true debt-to-GDP ratio could be as high as 400% or 450%. That's 3 to 4 times higher than the US's. So, why isn't China facing a full-blown crisis? Why hasn't the world felt the financial tremors yet? Well, there are two crucial reasons for this. First, control. China's financial system is state-dominated. The central bank and state-owned banks control borrowing costs, ensuring China doesn't face the pressure of high interest rates. While the U.S. 10-year bond yields around 4.5%, China's equivalent bonds are at just 1.7%. This means China can borrow cheaply, without the immediate pain. Second, China holds assets, tangible, income-generating assets. Unlike the U.S. government, which has a negative net worth, China's government controls vast land holdings, state-owned enterprises, and much of the country's wealth. These assets act as a buffer. If China ever faced a liquidity crunch, it could monetize these assets, unlike other highly indebted nations. So, where is this all heading? Heading into late 2025 and beyond, China's economy faces pressing challenges. First, real estate. Despite efforts to stabilize the market, housing prices continue to fall, and major developers are still in distress. This puts household wealth and local government finances at risk, especially with land sales. It's a sector that's far from recovery. And let's not forget about deflation. While the world struggles with inflation, China's prices have been falling for years. This leads to a cycle of decreased consumption, lower wages, and stagnation. It's a scenario that could ripple through China's economy and potentially the global market. China's system of control, combined with its vast assets, keeps it afloat for now. But the challenges ahead are undeniable. Structural shifts are needed to balance the scales reforms that could reshape the economy and, in turn, the global landscape. China's next moves won't just impact their economy, they'll echo worldwide. This is more than just a financial report. It's a glimpse into the future of the global economy.